This is my first video update coming to you from Nicosia, Cyprus. And this is going to be a nighttime video update. Let's talk about some news. And we have got to start things off with the situation in Serbia, in Kosovo and Metohija, to be more precise. And it looks like NATO, the European Union, the collective West, they are trying to provoke and to goad Serbia into a conflict in Kosovo and Metohija. Serbia, as President Alexander Vučić put it, has its back against the wall, and in much the same way that the collective West goaded and provoked Russia, they appear to be doing the same this time with Serbia. And Serbia is following all of the international laws and the UN resolutions that have been spelled out, specifically in Resolution 1244 with regards to Kosovo and Metohija. They are requesting from the KFOR, the NATO occupying forces, they are requesting that Serbian soldiers and police be sent to Kosovo in order to protect the lives of Serbs in that area, because they are being terrorized by the Pristina authorities. And under the resolution, Serbia is allowed to do this. They are allowed to send up to 1,000 troops and police to Kosovo in order to safeguard the lives of Serbs in that area, especially because NATO refuses to do so, it seems. And the pushback that Serbia is getting, specifically from the European Union, is that this is unacceptable. German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock, she sent out a tweet, as did Joseph Borrell, actually. Pretty much the same tweet they sent out, and I'll put it up on the screen so you could have a look. And they said that this was unacceptable for Serbia to send their security forces into Kosovo and Metohija in order to protect their people in that province. In other words, Serbia, following UN Resolution 1244, according to the EU, is not allowed. They're not allowed to follow the UN Resolution 1244, as has been approved by the Security Council. The EU is prohibiting them from following that resolution. They are saying that it is unacceptable for Serbia to follow that resolution, and unacceptable for Serbia to send its troops and its police into its own land and its own territory to protect its own people. And so it looks like they are trying to provoke Serbia into a situation where conflict is the only remedy. At the same time, the European Union is, or actually, I don't want to say the European Union, let's say Pristina is being encouraged by the European Union to apply for candidate status. And they are going to do this on the 15th of December. And they are going to apply to become a candidate country for the European Union under the name of the Republic of Kosovo, a country which, by the way, is not recognized by 5 EU member states: Spain, Greece, Cyprus, Romania, and Slovakia. So they are being encouraged by the European Union to become a candidate country, this Pristina authority, to become a candidate country under the name of Republic of Kosovo. And you already have 5 EU member states that don't even recognize this potential candidacy. How exactly is that going to work? Well, I guess the Vander Crazes of the world and the Borrells of the world, they believe that this provocation against Serbia by trying to become an EU candidate nation can be helped along from pressure by the United States and NATO onto the 5 countries that refuse to recognize this Republic of Kosovo. And so I guess the calculus is we're going to put pressure on Serbia in Kosovo and Metohija by telling the Pristina authorities to to crack down on Serbs there. We're going to create a situation there, while at the same time we'll encourage the authorities in Pristina to go for EU candidacy. And whatever EU member states refuse to recognize this Republic of Serbia, well, we'll apply the necessary pressure to them so that they can change their mind, even though it would most likely lead to the fall of many governments in the European Union: Greece, Cyprus, Spain, Romania, and Slovakia. If they were to recognize the Republic of Kosovo, then you would definitely have a situation where some, if not all, of these governments would effectively collapse. But, you know, these crazies like Borrell and Baerbock and all of these neocons, they have no reverse gear, none whatsoever. So that is the situation in Kosovo at the moment with regards to, in Kosovo, Metohija, with regards to Serbia. Serbia is in a tough situation, but I think they'll figure a way out of this. I don't know, that's just my hunch. I really hope that we don't end up with a conflict. It's a very difficult situation to try and resolve, but I think they'll find a way. At least I hope. But we're going to have to wait and see how this all unfolds. Russia, the Russian Foreign Ministry says that they are monitoring the situation closely. Around the clock, they said. They are monitoring the situation 24/7. I am positive that they are in close contact with Serbia and the Serbian officials. And Russia has also said that they are not going to allow Serbia to have what happened to it in the 90s, to have it happen again. That is what the Russian Foreign Ministry has hinted at. Actually, I think I may even have the exact quote, the exact statement from the Russian Foreign Ministry here. Let me see what they said. Russia will help Belgrade defend legitimate national interests in relation to Kosovo, based on UN Security Council resolutions from the Russian Foreign Ministry. So that is the statement from the Russian Foreign Ministry. I am sure that the Russians have game planned this out. They understand what the EU and NATO is up to. They understand that they're looking to open up another front in this global conflict, which they've launched against Russia. They're looking to open up another front, and that front looks like it's going to be Kosovo and Metohija. And the reasoning for opening up this front, well, perhaps there are forces in the collective West that believe that now is their chance to finally resolve the issue in Kosovo, because Russia is distracted with Ukraine. So I'm sure that may be one of the calculuses for stirring up this conflict that the collective West may be thinking. But the other reason may be that they believe that they can distract Russia away from Ukraine. That may be another reason why they're opening up this front. I'm not sure which one it is. Maybe it's both. Maybe there are forces in the collective West that are saying, look, we've been trying to crack Serbia now for decades. This is our chance now that Russia is occupied with Ukraine. And maybe there are other people that are saying, yeah, that makes sense. But you know what? This is also a good opportunity to distract Russia from their plan in Ukraine, from what they're doing in Ukraine. So that's the situation there. Very tense situation in Serbia, and let's hope that conflict is avoided, because a conflict in the Balkans is the absolute last thing that the world needs. We don't need to talk about the parallels to historical events that happened in 1914, and how this may not be a repetition of those events, but it sure does rhyme to a certain extent. Anyway, since we're talking about Ukraine, we have got a situation in Bakhmut where it looks like we are entering the absolute endgame of the battle in Bakhmut, which is the most important battle in this conflict in Ukraine. And I'm getting reports, I think those reports now are, for the most part, confirmed, that Ukraine forces are crumbling. They are retreating. The Zelensky regime, they're trying to pour in more reinforcements, but the Russian military is advancing, and they've made significant gains today. And it looks like that we are coming towards a finality in Bakhmut. And as Bakhmut falls, so will the remainder of the Donbass for the Zelensky regime. And this could also explain why you're seeing this flare up in Kosovo and Metohija against Serbia. All of the timing of everything is not coincidence. I am certain that there is absolute panic in the collective West with regards to the news out of Bakhmut, and that is why you get so many collective West media outlets reporting on the situation in Bakhmut. Now, for 3-4 months, that city didn't even exist. There was no fighting in Bakhmut, according to the collective West. It was all about Kherson and Kharkiv. And now they just simply can't avoid reporting on it, and they can't avoid reporting on the horrendous losses of the Ukraine military, though they try to explain things away as Bakhmut is not that important. That's what they say. Bakhmut is really not that important. Yeah, we used to think it was important, but you know what? It really isn't that important. If it isn't that important, then why is the Ukraine military, why have they poured so many resources and reinforcements into Bakhmut to try and hold it, if it wasn't that important? But they're trying to come to terms with what's about to happen. The collective West is trying to come to terms with the inevitable collapse of Bakhmut and what will be a collapse in all of Ukraine's positions in the Donbass. So that is the situation there. And a quick update on the story that I did yesterday with regards to the Times article, where they cited Pentagon sources claiming that the Pentagon has greenlit Ukraine attacks inside of Russia. You had an interview on ABC News with John Kirby, and he kind of watered down that Times claim about Ukraine getting the green light to strike inside of Russia. And let me tell you exactly what he said. By the way, John Kirby, his position is U.S. National Security Council spokesman, and he spoke to ABC's Martha Radich on Sunday. And he said that, at first he said, when he was asked about the Times article and greenlighting Ukrainian attacks inside of Russia, at first Kirby stated that he would let the Ukrainian armed forces speak for their operations. And then he realized, you know what, maybe I need to address this. And he clarified that we are certainly not encouraging or enabling Ukrainian operations inside Russia. We are trying to make sure they can defend their territory, win back their ground in Ukraine. So he's saying, we are certainly not encouraging, those are the words he used, we are certainly not encouraging Ukraine to strike inside of Russia, which actually lines up almost perfectly with what Anthony Blinken said when he was asked last week about the drone strike in the Saratov region at the Engels Air Base inside Russia. When Blinken was asked about it, he said that the U.S. had neither encouraged nor enabled the Ukrainians to strike inside of Russia. So they're not actually disputing the Times article where the claim is being made that the U.S. is green-lighting attacks inside of Russia. What they're going with is, we're not encouraging Ukraine to strike inside of Russia. That is what Blinken said. That is what Kirby is saying. We're not encouraging it. Now, the use of the word encouraging, that can be interpreted in a lot of different ways, but it's definitely not a denial. It is not the United States saying, no way, striking inside of Russia for Ukraine is a red line. We don't want this type of escalation. We're telling Ukraine not to do it. That is not what the U.S. authorities are saying. We're not encouraging Ukraine to do it. We're not encouraging them. Anyway, that's the statement from Kirby. It lines up perfectly with the statement from Blinken. And that's the narrative that they're going to go with. And, the whole Ukraine striking inside of Russia thing, that also plays into the general panic of the Zelensky regime and of the collective West. That's what this is all about. They need these media, PR, military wins, and that's what they are. They're military PR wins. So sending a drone into Russia, or being able to strike Kursk or Crimea or something like that, sneaking something through, gives them a type of PR optics win, because the articles that come out afterwards are, Putin is unable to protect Russia. The Kremlin now feels like it's vulnerable to Ukraine missile strikes or drone attacks. And, you could see the articles that come up, and it provides that hopium, that hope strategy that, we need to stay united just a little bit longer, because look, Ukraine is now able to send a drone into Russia. So just a little bit longer. Let's get them some more weapons, some more money, and they're going to be able to do it. Let's all stick together, and let's just all send another 100 billion, because, the Zelensky regime, they're close to getting the job done. That's what it's all about. But now the thing is running its course, and the next problem, the next hotspot, flare up. That's the right word. The next flare up that needs to be addressed is Serbia, Kosovo, Metohija. The Russians are on the case. They're monitoring the situation, but these guys, they have no reverse gear, and they're looking to start something in the Balkans, and that is going to be an absolute disaster. But I'm hopeful. I'm trying to remain hopeful that we find a way out of this crisis. How do I know that the EU is the EU, NATO, the collective West, they're trying to goad Serbia into a conflict? Well, how about the story that the Dutch lower parliament, the lower parliament in the Netherlands, let me pull up the reference here, just so I make sure I get this one right. The lower house of the Dutch parliament has passed a resolution calling for the European Commission to be given the power to punish Serbia for refusing to join European Union sanctions against Russia. Incredible, huh? Incredible. You see, they're very, very upset with Serbia because Serbia isn't falling in line with the rest of Europe, or at least the European Union. Serbia remains allied with Russia. They still have, I won't say allied, even though the people are definitely allied. The government has taken a neutral position, the Vučić government. And for the European Union, this is unacceptable. It's so unacceptable that you even have the Dutch parliament, the lower house of the parliament in the Netherlands, a different country. This is not Serbia. This is not the EU parliament. This is the parliament in the Netherlands passing a resolution to punish Serbia. Think about that. Think about how crazy, how obsessed these people have become with this conflict in Ukraine, and trying to to destroy not only Russia now, but Serbia. They're really trying to push the world towards a terrible conflict. That's how you know that all of this is being engineered to try and goad Serbia into doing something so that then NATO or the collective West can retaliate. So Vucic is going to have to play his cards. He's going to have to play his cards very skillfully now. And let's see what he does. Let's see how all of this shakes out. Without a doubt, Serbia has to protect its people. If its people are coming under attack, Serbia needs to take action, but they're doing everything in accordance with the resolution, with UN Resolution 1244. And actually, the Prime Minister of Serbia, she called out Baerbock's hypocrisy, because Baerbock was saying it's unacceptable for Serbia to follow UN Resolution 1244. This is the German foreign minister saying that Serbia is not allowed to follow a UN Security Council passed resolution to protect its people. And so the Serbian Prime Minister, Ana Brnabic, I believe is her name, Ana Brnabic, she called out Baerbock's hypocrisy and said, pretty much she said, it's okay for the collective West to cite UN Security Council resolutions in Libya or Syria or Afghanistan or whatever. It's okay for you guys to cite those UN resolutions when you want to destroy or dismantle a government, but when it comes to Serbia and it has to protect its people in Kosovo, well, then it's not acceptable to follow UN resolutions. Anyway, that is the story going on today on this Monday. Troubling stuff indeed. But let's see if I have a clown world. I don't know if I have a clown world. Odessa is going through a almost permanent blackout phase, it seems. No electricity, no water, a real catastrophe. And the Zelensky regime doesn't even let the people protest this. If you get out on the street, if you're in Odessa and you try to protest the fact that you have no electricity or no water, well, then the Zelensky regime arrests you, if not worse. So that is a terrible situation in Odessa, and that's going to probably be how most of Ukraine is going to end up as the Russians continue to hit the electric grid in Ukraine. So, do I have a clown world? Let me see here. A big story is India and Russia are going to begin settling payments for shipments in rupees next week. I mean, who would have predicted this? China's RMB, the Indian rupee, the energy deals signed by China, Saudi Arabia, China and Qatar, the settlement that's going to take place outside of US dollars. Who would have believed this? Anyway, I think I will leave it there. I don't have any other news to report. So on this Monday evening, we'll do a video without a clown world ending. That is what I've got for you today. theduran.locals.com. We are also on Rockfin as well. And go to the Duran shop, 10% off. Use the code GOODDAY. Take care.